This time I call the September meeting of the County Commission to order. I'm going to ask the County Attorney, Mr. Jackson, if he would give the invocation, and Commissioner Wade the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
Bow our heads. Most gracious Heavenly Father, once again we thank you for giving us the opportunity to come together and to do the business of the citizens of Lincoln County. We ask that you give us all your wisdom and your understanding as we make the decisions, that you bless each and every person who is here today. Watch over them, be with them as we're here and as we return to our homes. Again, just give us your direction in all we do, Lord. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 4, the approval of the minutes. Is there a motion that we approve the minutes as printed and sent to you?
I so move, Mr. Chairman.
That's second.
I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Clyde, second by Commissioner Henderson. In discussion. Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion is carried. Item 5 is the approval of the agenda. Let me say that Faith Community Church number 8, they have asked that that be removed from the agenda. That issue has been settled. So without objection, we will strike item number 8, Faith Community Church. I would like to add at 18 and move the adjournment to 19, which that changed, is Director John Stone would like to address the commission about something, and we'll add him to it if it's not of any objection. If not, so ordered, that will be added to the agenda. Is there a motion that the agenda be approved as discussed and as amended?
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Wade, second by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion on the motion? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is carried. Item 6, departmental reports. 6A is the Office of Emergency Services, Director Broom.
Good evening, Commissioners. It's an honor, as always, to be here. Y'all have my written report. I did want to change one thing. Under Financial and Collection Agency, we got $180 from the collection agency that came the day after I submitted the report, which is one of their best months. So there we go. I don't have anything to add to the report unless there are questions.
Anyone have anything they need to talk to the director about? If not, thank you.
All righty.
6A is Recreation Department. You have your report in your book. Director Glaze is at the Recreation Department as we meet, which he has to do quite often when something's going on out there, but he has a report to you, and if you have any questions for him, just contact him. 6C is Finance Department, Director Arnett.
Chairman and Commissioners, you have my written reports. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Any questions for Director Arnett? If not, 6D, Public Works Commissioner, Director Seymour. Well, I like to demote you.
Chairman, members of the board, you have my written reports. Do not have anything to add to those unless you have some questions. I'll be more than happy to answer those. I do have a item that needs action from you guys if you don't have any questions from me.
Any questions, Director Seymour?
I got a question, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Wade.
Director Seymour, what's the status of the FFA building? Can you?
I'm glad you asked. They poured concrete today on the new agricultural center out at the rec department. We are progressing fairly well. hope to start putting up the shell of the building sometime next week. So we're progressing very good. Like I said, they poured 127 yards of concrete today, and it's progressing very well.
Okay, thanks, sir.
I actually put some of those on the county's Facebook page today, some pictures of that taking place. So if you have a chance, go take a look at them. You can see on Facebook where we posted those pictures. So it's working well.
When do you think it might be completed?
It's going to be a phased project. So
Just a shell.
this first phase with H&H Industrial Maintenance as the contractor, which is the shell of the building. I'm hoping to be finished with the building in the next 30 days. Okay. At that point in time, we can go to the second phase, which is actually starting to put interior walls in and framing them up, and then getting our electrical and plumbing and all of that stuff in. So it's going to take us a little bit of time, kind of like it did the probate office down here. We'll be acting as our own general contractor after the building's up, so it's going to take a little time, but I foresee us progressing fairly well throughout the project.
I appreciate that. I know as county doing their own general contractor work, I'm sure you're saving quite a bit of money by doing that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I've got a question. Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Clyde.
Mr. Seymour, on the total number of new homes thus far?
Yes,
What's our total number of permits?
I didn't have a chance to look at that, but I did last week, and I think we were at about 22 last week, which puts us in line with being around that 38 to 40 mark by the end of the year. And I think we had 1 or 2 this week. So we're still on track to do at least what we did last year, if not a little better than what we did last year, which was 38 last year. So.
Yeah, that's good. I see a lot of new people in the county, at least I don't
Yeah.
know them, I guess they knew. And we had 54 permits, that's pretty high, isn't it?
It is pretty high. We're getting a lot of people starting to move on some stuff, renovations, things of that nature. So yeah, we're starting to see a good bit of movement in our office. Yes, sir.
Good, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions, Director Seymour? If not, he has a amendment with the water improvement system of the $1.99 million grant we got to
Yes, sir.
extend some water. This was discussed, I think, a month or so back at a.
Correct. As you recall, y'all voted to move the water line from New Petersburg to Lewis Family Road down to Thompson Highway and up to Faith Community Church. And in doing so, we have to do an amendment to the contract with EMI because they've got to design that water line down Lewis Family Road, which was not in the original agreement with EMI. You've got all the numbers in this contract. It does not change the bottom dollar line, which is the $1.992 million grant that we got, grant and loan package that we got from USDA. So the dollar amount in total didn't change. We moved some stuff around, saved some money in other places to be able to make this happen and stay within that $1.992 million. So what this is just an amendment to our engineering contract with the engineers to allow them to do the design and the other phases of Lewis Family Road. So I'm going to need y'all to vote to approve that so we can move forward.
And that was discussed, I think,
Yes, sir.
at the August work session, I believe.
Yes, sir.
It's when it was discussed and pretty much agreed amongst ourselves that we would make this done, and now we've asked the engineers to do what they got to do to be submitted to the United States Department of Agriculture. If that said, is there a motion that we approve the amendment to the water expansion that's presented to us?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Have a motion by Commissioner Henderson, is there a second?
I second, Mr. Chairman.
Second by Commissioner Clyde. Any discussion? Commissioner Wade.
Mr. Chairman, just for the record, I think we voted on that, moving that water line from Petersburg Road out to Lewis Family Road, but I did not vote in favor of that. That's my district over there, and just for the record, I did not vote in favor of it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion's carried 3-1. Okay, discuss the Guild. Item 7 is discussion of Gill Point Road. Mr. Charles Daniel. Mr. Daniel, you come and state your name just for the record. I think most of us know you. I know you as a Gideon speaker who you was at our church not too long ago. If you'd state your name and I guess it's something on the back you probably read, but
Charles Daniel. I've lived here for 30 years now. And the old time I've lived here, Gill Point Road has been a sore point with everybody that lives in that neighborhood and uses that road to go to put in at the ramp. On the way down here on 79, I passed several new subdivisions that have been put in the last few years. They all got beautiful new paved roads going down into their subdivisions. We're the oldest subdivision one of the oldest in the county. We have paid taxes for many years, myself for 30 years. And of course, I don't live on the water, so I don't pay the high taxes that's been put on all of my neighbors. And what do we get? A dang gravel road. Out of all the taxes that we've paid, that's what we get. And I want to ask you one question. Do any of you live on a gravel road? I didn't think so. I want to ask you another question. What is the agenda for that road, being as it's been fixed like it is? Is it gone, anything else going to be done to it, or is that it?
that's complete other than the lines on the road. It will be striped.
How are you going to do that in gravel on the road?
Well, the gravel will be off, and they'll brush that off before they do.
Sorry, I can't go along with this. And nobody likes your road, what you've done to it. I know you've done another road. I haven't rode on it because I don't care about it. I'm caring about Gill Point Road.
I understand.
And the people that have these $50,000 to $100,000 boats and a $50,000 to $100,000 truck, they're not going to be using Gill Point and not going to come into Lincoln County to buy stuff and to go fish on this lake and to have to travel over the expensive equipment on gravel roads. I've got petitions, but I know it ain't no use giving them to you because it ain't going to mean nothing to you. We're requesting that asphalt be added to the gravel on there, doing something with it. We went to the internet. There's several different ways that gravel can be put down, and that is not one of them. I don't know who you hired to do it, but that was the lousiest job I've ever seen. It just was terrible. One side is done, you can't see the tar. The other side is not done with enough gravel to cover anything up. It's just a horrible looking road. And we request all of our citizens in that area that own property in there, we request that some way, somehow, that be paved going down into our area. Because somebody comes in there, somebody's got property for sale, and somebody comes down in there to look at it, they're going to hit that gravel road and they're going to turn around and leave. Because they're not going to buy a house on a gravel road. And if it's not corrected, it's going to tear up our cars. I got a fairly new car and I'm proud of it, but I can't even keep it clean. And there's several other people the same way, traveling down the road. I just don't understand why us, as long as we've been complaining about that road, to get something done. Because every time before this was done, we just knew we were going to get a nice paved road down in there. But before that, there were potholes in that road. We'd call, complain, get somebody out there. The guy would come out, fill one pothole, and 2 foot later, there'd be another pothole. He'd turn around and go back. This happened over and over and over again for that road. The road that goes around behind me, Woodall Crescent, it hadn't been touched. I can't get anybody out there to work on it. The pavement's just about going on it. They won't even look at it. So I'm asking you today, there's some things that we need to discuss, I need you to look at to try to help us out with this road and give us a decent road that we can come home at night and not have to worry about getting flung off the road on a gravel road. I have these petitions. I'll give them to you.
Give them to Seymour behind you, Mr. Daniel. He can get them to us.
I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming, and we're going to try to give you just a little bit of an answer as to why we did what we did. We got 3 or 4 more roads that are scheduled this year that are going to be. This is called surface treatment, and 2 layers of rock were put on this road. I think you're going to start seeing. You're already seeing a lot of counties and probably the state going to this. I was at a funeral yesterday on Tabernacle Church Road. If you ride Tabernacle Church Road now, the first part of it is the same as what we did resurfacing Gill Point Road. Before Gill Point Road was asphalt under the old LOP program that the state used to do, that was the same road that you got today. I've been here for about 40 years, and when we were building roads in the 80s and the county built them, every county road that was ever done was a triple surface treatment road. I went to Wilkes County, Robbie and I, a few months ago, and rode some of the roads that they are doing, which is the same thing. When the road gets in the shape that this road was in, and it was in bad shape, no question about it, it was going to take at least 1 layer of gravel before you could go and put asphalt on it anyway. This stabilizes the road, hopefully, and I don't want to make it sound like next year, 2 years from now, we're going to be putting asphalt on top of this. But this was going to have to be done pretty much before you could just go in and put asphalt over the top of what was there. I was up there day before yesterday. I rode it and went through the whole subdivision. I know the little roads behind your house and all that you talked about. Those roads were these tar and gravel roads, as we called it. It was left over when they redone the surfacing. We have a good many tar and gravel roads in the county now that are still left over. Georgia 220, up until this year or last year, most of that state highway was that. But I'm going to let Robbie, Director Seymour, give some figures as to why I think you're going to see a lot of this coming back. This is not something that's new. This is where it used to be, and then they started putting asphalt on top of it, and the cost of it is just almost cost prohibitive for us to be able to do. We had DOT here. We have over $20 million worth of road work to be done today. And we get about $700,000 a year that we have to be able to do the road work. None of the road work comes out of the general fund. That was taken out 8 or 9 years ago. All the monies that we have now is LMEG money and T-Splosh money. And actually, this one was done out of LMEG, which is local maintenance and improvement grants that the state gives to us based on their criteria. And it replaced the old LOP program, Local Assistance Road Project, where you just sent it in, the state would come in, they'd re-asphalt. We'd send a list in, and we didn't have any say-so which ones was being done. Director Seymour, if you will, come to the microphone and tell it, and I can tell you this, they didn't talk to me, but they talked to him. Elbert County was here 2 weeks ago.
Yes, sir.
They have already been down, and they talked to you. You could tell that too. This is not being done just in Lincoln County. This is fixing to be done everywhere. And I can tell you, I took Commissioner Wade up there the other day, and what the state has done to 79, your road rides smoother than the state highway up there does with all those things. But we met with DOT about 3 months ago downstairs, and they told us that the state normally resurface state highways every 10 years. That's about the life of an asphalt road. The life of this road's about 20 years. We got some tar and gravel roads, or surface treatment roads we like to call them, that's 30 years old in the county right now. It was in better shape than that road was in. But Elbert County was looking at them, and the state told us, though what I was saying, the state told us that their plan, the way they had handled state highways, every 10 years, they would be resurfaced. Now they have pushed that back to 15 to 16 years before they do any resurfacing on roads, and that's the reason you're seeing them putting the tar in the cracks of that, because if it gets to the base of the road, then it's totally gone. But you're going to see some changes due to the cost. And Director Seaman, if you will, give them the cost of what that road was and what it was.
Sure.
To actual asphalt.
If we were to asphalt Gill Point Road, the same length of road that we just did, the surface treatment, it would cost somewhere around the $350,000 range. We were able to do the surface treatment on that road for $66,000. Now, keep in mind that the condition of the road has a lot to do with what kind of surface you can actually put on a road as well. That road was in pretty bad shape as far as what we call alligating. Now, alligating is basically what it sounds like. It looks like alligator skin. It's cracked up real, and you see cracks that are this big. Well, what happens when a road alligates like that is when you get rain, that water gets into the cracks, gets down up under the asphalt into the base, what we call the base, and then it softens up that base. And so as you drive on it, it works and works and works, and that road starts giving. Well, it's kind of like paint. If you don't go in there and do something with the alligation on that road and that sub-base, and you went over the top of it with a new asphalt surface over the top of it, within 6-8 months, and I've seen it, it's going to start tearing up too. Kind of like paint. As I said, if you don't scrape it all the way down to the foundation and repaint something, that loose paint up under there is going to flake off, which is going to cause the new paint to flake off. What this does is when you put that tar down, or that liquid emulsion is what we call it, it's thinner than tar, it seals those cracks. And then you put a layer of gravel down, and you come back, it's a bigger rock, the first layer, and then you come back with another layer of liquid emulsion, and then another layer of rock. And what that does is it seals that road, which keeps any penetration from getting in the base, but it also flexes more. And that's the reason these kinds of roads last longer, as the chairman spoke, than an asphalt road. An asphalt road doesn't flex near as much, and when it starts flexing, it starts cracking. This road has a lot more flexibility to it, so when traffic goes up and down it flexes with it, so it doesn't break up, doesn't crack up. You don't see that. And yes, you will see a lot of times state highways the same way. They'll come in and do a chip seal just in the lane. They won't cover up the white line or the yellow line. I don't know if y'all have ever seen that. They'll do what they call chip seal. And what they do is they run a layer of liquid tar down the road in the lane mile, and they come back with chip, and they may come back in 5 or 10 years and then overlay it with asphalt. Well, that's what they're doing. And that's exactly what they've done on 79 and Augusta Highway and McCormick Highway, is with that tar is what they call crack sealing. They're sealing those cracks to keep water from penetrating into the base, which saves the road. That's what we've done with this road. And yes, we can come back at a later date after that road is sealed and put an asphalt topping of it. But the problem is the economics. We have over $20 million worth of road work that we could do today if we had the money. An asphalt road lasts about 10 years. We got about 200 miles of roadway. So we have to pave at least 10 miles of roadway every year to keep up with the national average. That's just to keep up. That's not counting the 20 million we already behind currently today. Well, when we get $700,000 of money a year, we don't have enough money to pave 3 miles of road, 4 miles of road, and let alone 10. What this does is gives us the ability to stretch that money a lot further and still be able to stabilize the roads that we currently have. If not, then we're going to start losing roads, and we're going to go back to gravel roads, not tar and gravel roads, but gravel roads. This road will get better as time goes on. I know there's loose stone on it. I rode it just this week, and it's a lot better than it was a week ago. Matter of fact, I didn't have any rocks fly up on me. I met several cars. I didn't have any flying up under the fender wells. You know how you hear the dinging up under your fender wells. I did originally because there was some loose rock on there. It has gotten a lot better. It rides smooth, and as you said, Chairman, it rides smoother than 79 does, or McCormick Highway, or Augusta Highway. So that's the reasoning behind it is a lot of it's economics, but some of it is because of the condition of the road too. And we're slated to do another 4 or 5 roads this year. We've already done these 2, and we're going to do 4 or 5 more. So.
I also want you to understand, if that was the only road we had to do, we would have had the money to asphalt that road.
Yeah.
But as Director Seymour said, we go with DOT and we rate these roads. That road really wasn't on our list to be done this year. We got some that's graded lower than that road did. Now, you had some potholes that needed patching probably a little. I know what you're talking about. They ran up there with a little coal seal and put it in. The third car hit it, and it's all gone. It wasn't, should be gone in and cut out and fixed like it was supposed to. But the problem is simply economics. And if we don't stabilize some of the roads that we got, I mean, Ride Lovelace Road or Meadersfield Road or White Rock Road, and White Rock Road's 6-7 miles long. If we don't do something like we did to your road in the next year or 2, we're going to completely lose those roads. You're getting down to the base, and when the base of a road gets wet and gets soft, then you've lost your road, and it really costs in because you got to go in and start doing even dirt base work. What we're trying to do with the little money we got every year is to get these roads stabilized to where at some point in time, hopefully we'll be able to come back and then do some asphalt. But if we don't get them stable, we can't afford, we can't move fast enough to spend $300,000 on 2.2 miles of road versus $66,000. And that's the reason we did it, to try to stabilize it and get it in shape where we can get some more. And at some point in time, probably after I'm gone, but at some point in time, they'll come back and resurface these roads. I understand. I don't like it. It's not my preference. It wouldn't be it's not the ideal look-wise is what to do. But your road is, as he says, going to get better in the next few months. And what they'll do, Mr. Daniel, is when we got a grant for $300 and something thousand to stripe most all of Lincoln County roads. Now, I think it's after Christmas before they start on it.
Yes.
That will let that road mature. We can't go in and broom it now. The brooms that are on tractors, if you do, you're going to knock up the rock they put down. It's just not mature enough. They'll come in and they'll broom that off. And what gravel that is left on it will do. And on Prater Road, we tried something that we've never done before. In fact, I'd never heard of it, and that was they went back and put what do you call that stuff?
Screenings.
They put screenings on it, which was supposed to hold the road, the smaller rock. I call it a rock like you put on a cemetery, that little rock that's causing the problem. If you go up and look at it, I mean, the roads are, it don't look good. It's just an ugly road. It rides pretty decent. I mean, and it's stabilized, and the road's gonna be there. But if y'all will just bear with us and let us try to get all these roads that we got stabilized before we lose them, then I think at some point in time, they'll come back and hopefully be able to do it. This road was $66,000. The tar, now correct me if I'm wrong, this information y'all gave me, the tar out of that $66,000 was $30,000. It costs more than the rock, the hauling, putting it down. That's because it's used with gas and petroleum, and asphalt's the same way. So that'll tell you out of $66,000, $30,000 of it was nothing but the tar they used to do that road. But I do understand your frustration, but I hope you'll understand too that we just try and do the best we can do what we got to do with. That's just, it wasn't something we just came up and took off up there. I think Miss Linda maybe called me, and another person called me about the road. And we went up there and it was in shape. We just made a decision that we need to bring it to the commission and try to get this one going this year. But I appreciate you honesty in coming and talking to us.
Thank you, David.
Thank you. Okay. Item number 9 is Lincoln County Paws sponsorship. As you know, that the Lincoln County Paws is having the L's for Tails or whatever they call it. I think it's a good project for what they're doing to try to raise money to take care of the animals across the county. As we've said many times, we don't want to get into the animal control business as long as we can help from doing it, because that's going to cost lots of money. We discussed this at the work session. I think we had talked about it, and I think that the Paws, people from the Lincoln County Paws has talked to several of us. And I think, Commissioner Clyde, you have something to say and a motion to make, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Commissioner Clyde.
I think we all talked about it and all, then some commissioners a little bit worried about the alcohol part of it, but we look like we got that covered with the insurance and a few things and the police protection that we required to have there. So I'd like to make the motion that we give them $1,000 to help them with this, because I think they were telling us that even the little laser show is like $5,000 by itself. So they've got the city giving them money and some other sponsors. I think the new Helio Farm is sponsoring pretty heavy. And that's what we had done in a couple of occasions. So I made the motion for $1,000 to LC Paws.
Okay, and to let you know that comes from the sales tax. We don't get a whole lot of sales tax money, but state law tells you what you can spend it for, and tourism is the main reason.
Hotel, motel,
What did I say?
sales tax.
Hotel motel tax, I'm sorry. I even have it written down here, but the hotel motel tax is to be spent for tourism projects, and this is a tourism project bringing people into the county, as we do with the Little Roy and Lizzie Festival and the Jeff and Sherry Festival. It promotes and brings people to Lincoln County, and hopefully they spend money here. So this will be paid out of hotel motel tax. To clarify a little of that, the only thing Lincoln County gets from hotel motel tax is about 5 cabins at Soap Creek and 20 cabins at Elijah Clark State Park. The motel in town, we don't get that. That goes directly to the city. Of the 24 or 25 rental properties in the county that we get sales tax from through the hotel motel tax, by law, we have to give about 49%, I think, of that back to Elijah Clark State Park. So they get about half of it. We have to give, if we collect $10,000 a year, we got to give them 5. Then we have to, by law, give a 501c in the case that we're looking at now with the Chamber of Commerce, but it could be any 501c that's using it for a tourism project. So when that happens, we don't have a whole lot of money. You know, LC Paws would have liked to have had more. They didn't. They wasn't really excited about that, but that's just about all the money that between that and the other two that we do that we have to fund. But we have a motion by Commissioner Clyde that we give a sponsorship to the LC Paws project for $1,000 from the hotel motel taxes. That's second.
No, I'll second that, Mr. Chairman.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. The motion's carried. Item 10 is the final budget resolution for FY 2020. Director Arnett.
If you remember, back in June, we passed the temporary budget for the general fund. We were waiting on the tax digest to be set. The total for the general fund budget is $7,257,738. I'll be glad to read the line items individually if you like. It will be on our website.
Without objection, I don't see any reason to read it. The total number is 7,257,738. Last year it was 7,263,000, so it's actually down just a tad. These have to be voted on separately, Mr. Jackson, is that correct?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. The resolution to approve the general fund is just a bunch of OCGA sections 3881-5G parentheses 1 and what the law requires us to do to adopt the budget. So I guess I'm needing a motion to adopt the resolution for approval of general fund budget for fiscal year 2020 in that amount that we stated of $7,257,738. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Wade, second by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion on the motion? Chair is none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion's carried. Item 11 is the miscellaneous budget resolutions for 2020. Director Arnett.
Same thing here, the temporary was passed back in June, and now the final just needs to be passed on the miscellaneous funds.
You have that before you, and of course, we discussed all this last week too, but the miscellaneous budgets, and as Director Arnett said, this will all be on the website. You can go look at what they are. But that includes the condemned funds, the drug education fund, the E911, family connection, hotel motel, jail fee fund, law library fund, special purpose local option sales tax fund, solid waste fund, the T-Splice fund, water fund, and WIA grant program. And the ag buildings money that's flowing through us from the federal government. That's a total of $5,333,382. That does our miscellaneous funds. Is there a motion that we pass the resolution on the miscellaneous funds for 2020 in that amount?
I so move, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second?
I'll second again, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Clyde, second by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion on the motion? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion's carried. Item 12 is the tax levy resolution for FY 2019. Director Arnett.
All right, based on the $7,257,738 general fund budget and other revenues of $4,295,584, we need income from taxes of $2,962,154. And in order to do that, we have to set the millage rate at 11.287, which is the rollback rate, and that's the rate that we advertised in the paper. So, do you just want me to read the tax levy resolution?
Well, I don't know that we have to read all them whereas, but did you mention the School and Development Authority?
Okay, the school M&O is 17.00, the school bonds are 2.977, and the Development Authority is 1.00. And
Go ahead.
and the state is 0.0.
And by state law, the county has to levy the millage rate for the Board of Education. Development Authority has the authority under Georgia law to levy a mill or tax. And we have to vote to put it on the tax bills for the tax commissioner to get it out. And that's what this was doing is, because last thing said it is ordered that the tax commissioner of Lincoln County, Georgia, collect all said taxes for county, school, industrial, state purposes is levied for the year to pay them owed to the proper authorities as required by law. What's the total of all those? 32 something?
32.264 mills.
Yeah, 32, 264. Okay, you've heard the vote. We need a motion to approve the resolution for the tax levy and to give to the tax commissioner's office.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second,
I second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Wade, second by Commissioner Clyde. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I did want to say,
Commissioner Clyde.
this is not a tax increase. We ended up, digest went down a little bit, the millage rate change just kept us at the same level, right? So we don't have a tax increase as far as the county government.
It's not a tax increase. The millage went up like .0189 or something like that. It's just because the digest decreased, which actually gave you a loss of revenues from the previous year. The law says that you can bring it up to keep the same amount of money that you had the year before. Okay. Any other comments?
I'd like to ask a question, Mr.
Commissioner Wade.
I'm sort of backtracking here on you a little bit, and if I'm putting you on the spot, let me know. But what was the tax digest? How much money was in the tax digest? Can you tell me that?
I don't know that I have it for you. It's on the website, though. And you have to, by law, you have to put the 5-year history.
Okay.
So every year for the past 5 years is on the website. It went down $4 million, I can tell you that, a little over $4 million. I don't know
Okay.
what the exact was.
I was just wondering what that amount of money was.
Mr. Chairman, you might point out a large part of that decrease in our tax digest because of Jim Tech's plant and the inventory of the equipment.
Over $4 million in equipment was removed from that after the close of that plant. Was the biggest part of it, with a few other little things that got it, but it was a little over $4 million that it.
Yes, sir.
That the digest decrease. You have those numbers?
I have it. It's, this year it's $262,439,427.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, all in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign, motion's carried. Item 13 is the local complete count committee resolution. Clerk McKellar.
Yes, sir. This is a resolution for the U.S. Census Bureau for the 2020 census, for us to create a committee to help build awareness of the census coming around and participation. This resolution will appoint Daravius Colors from Family Connection as the chair and Stephanie Eicher as the co-chair.
Okay, is there a motion that we adopt the resolution for the creation of the 2020 Lincoln County Local Complete Count Committee?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Got a motion, is there a second?
I second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Henderson, second by Commissioner Clyde. Any discussion on the motion? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign, the motion's carried. Item 14 is an annual deal. This is the levy for the membership dues to the Central Savannah River Area Regional Commission. It's in the amount of $7,394.50. It's based on the amount of people in the unincorporated area of the county, multiplied by $1.15 per person. This is a statewide. We have no choice but to be a member of the RC. And this is our dues, $7,394.50. Is there a motion that the county pay the CSRA RC dues?
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Wade, second by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion's carried. Item 15 is the Department of Family and Children Services lease agreement. This is on the building, as you know, that we lease to the Department of Family and Children Services through the state. It changed a little this year to our advantage. Well, I know it's on here somewhere.
It's on the second page,
Yeah, I think that's where it's at, too.
the top.
Annual
What's the amount? Where's the amount?
29,076.
That's the annual.
First and second page, it's on,
Oh,
yeah, right here. Is that it?
yeah, I skipped that whole page. Okay, that the monthly rent is $2,423 a month that they will be paying now. Bear in mind, and I know y'all know because we discussed it the other day, but a few little things changed And we used to get about $800 a month, and now we have to provide so many parking places, and we have to, I think now we pay the utility bills on the building and some other things, but when it's all over based on the history of what we paying, we still got a little increase in what we paying on the building. But this is the rate that the state of Georgia will pay us to rent this building, and it has a little increase to where it goes up a little over the next few years. Is there a motion to give me and the clerk the authority to sign the lease with the State of Georgia Department of Family and Children's Services?
I so move, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second?
I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
That's a 3,116 square foot building. Motion by Commissioner Clyde, second by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion on the motion? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion's carried. Item 16, board appointments to the Recreation. That's really not right. That's the no, it is. I thought it said authority. Recreation Advisory Board. Excuse me. I need a Recreation Authority has been abolished, hasn't it? Okay, to the Recreation Advisory Board, District 2, Commissioner Collins, who obviously is not here tonight, so he won't be doing it. 16B is District 4, Commissioner Wade.
Yes, sir, I have a name, but I need to talk to that individual first. But should be ready to go in our next meeting.
Okay. All right, I'll ask clerk to place both of these back on the October agenda. Item 17 is board appointments to the Development Authority, District 1, Commissioner Henderson.
I'm still not ready, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we'll ask the clerk to put it back on for the next month of the Development Authority. Item 18 is Director Stone would like to address us. I don't think many of us are going to like what he's telling us.
Well, you haven't even heard it yet, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to thank all the commissioners, Mr. Chairman, and everyone here for the opportunity to speak. A little more than 4 years ago, when I started at the Development Authority, we initiated a 5-point economic development plan for Lincoln County. With the completion of these factories that we have here now, and with today's event at Soap Creek Marina and Resort with the restaurant and the marina, we have pretty much completed everything that we set out to do 4 years ago. We have our new resort attractions with the Marina Resort, and today Apex Marine announced that they plan to put another $3 million into that project over what's already been spent. So we're going to see it be truly not just a marina and restaurant anymore, but a resort. And I think that'll be great for our county and will really help on the sales tax issue where we're very lacking right now, which should take some pressure off of our property taxes if we can do that. We have our new college in town. Georgia Military College has agreed to open up to all students, not just the dual enrollment program at the high school. That was one of our initial goals. We need to work on that and reinvigorate our College Boosters Club to do that, to guarantee we have the enrollment and the classes there for Lincoln County residents. We have our new solar fields in place, which added $2 million to the tax digest and help out on that issue as well. We have both our factories filled up. We don't have any more factory space in Lincoln County right now unless we build a new spec building. And we have our signage program coming into the county from both South Carolina and from Little River. And as a result, we've completed pretty much what we said we needed to do. And I've always been a big believer at the federal level in congressional term limits, and I'm going to term limit myself. I've been here a little over 4 years now, and I think it's time that I look into retirement, and I did so Monday night when we had our meeting with the Development Authority Board, and mentioned there what I'll tell you all, and that is I don't intend to not continue pushing and promoting Lincoln County. And specifically, I intend to continue working on some of the ongoing projects that we have right now that are very promising. I don't want any of those to drop in any type of transition period. But I announced that I do want to go ahead and try to re-retire. I retired once before. It didn't work out, as you can see. And hopefully we'll give it another try now and see how well it works. I've got 2 new grandchildren, one 4-month-old up in Vermont that I haven't spent any time with. I've got a new one coming in January here in Lincoln County. I'm helping on the population trend as much as I can there with daughter number 3. And I just don't have time to do the things that I intended to do in retirement and take care of the family. There's just not enough time to do that and work. So I announced to my board that I do intend to retire and slow down some. I do intend to continue pushing some of the projects we've got going. I'm not going to let those drop. But I would like to thank the Board of Commissioners tonight for all of the support that you all have provided during my time in this particular position, each one of you. I'm sorry Larry's not here. I'd like to thank the former commissioners, including Commissioner Williams. Former Commissioner Williams is here with us tonight, and all the support we've received, the whole development board, from everybody in the community. I think we're in good shape for economic growth in the future, and it's time to look into doing something a little different. So I wanted to thank you all for the time that I've been here and the things that you all have helped on, and all the folks in Lincoln County. And I will move on towards retirement. We'll see how well that works out and whether it'll last. But I'm going to try to spend a little more time with family, do some traveling, and I got 2 weddings to pay for next summer too. So yeah, maybe I want to come back to work and get some rest at some point. But I want to thank you all. I just got to spend more time with the family and have a little time off. So thank you all for allowing me to serve here the time that I have. And I'm not leaving. I'm not giving up on the projects we got going. I'll just do it from a little bit of a different capacity. So thank you all.
Director Stone, on behalf of the board, we appreciate your tenure as Director of the Development Authority. You have made a lot of great improvements for our county. I am glad, though, that you told me the other day that you would still be in the county and be available for something that we need, and you'd still help and work and finish up at least the projects that you already have.
That's right.
Have going. I would probably think, though, that after you have these 2 weddings and these children arrive, these grandbabies, that your wife in the next 12, 24 months will probably find you another job somewhere to go. So that's usually the way that works. So, but we wish for you the very best that life has to offer. We appreciate you. We thank you, and we'll keep these communications open, hopefully for many, many years to come.
You will, and you'll see me at this commission meeting on a monthly
Mr.
level.
Chairman, I wanted to say,
Okay,
how-
Commissioner
you
Clyde.
have 6 daughters?
I have 6 daughters right now, 8 grandsons, 1 granddaughter, and then the new one on the way in January.
You're not going back to BBQ again, are you? You leaving us to go back?
No, not a bit. That's
We do appreciate you.
That's a little bit in the past. So right now, I think everybody's real happy with the Development Authority over the last year, so it's a good time to quit.
Yes, that's why on top. But thank you so much. We
Thank you all.
appreciate your efforts.
Thank you, John.
Thank you. Anything? All right, is that a motion we adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
I have a motion, is that a second?
Now second.
Motion by Commissioner Clyde, second by Commissioner Henderson. Any discussion on the motion? Chair hears none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known, saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion is carried, and we stand adjourned.